Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Bommer number 5010-456-652. This is a plain bearing 5-knuckle full mortise wide throw steel base 4.5 by 6 removable pin satin chrome hinge. Let's dissect the part number. We'll talk about what it is. Bommer 5010 means a variety of things. First of all, it means that it is, in no particular order, it means that it's a full mortise hinge. You can see from the swag on the hinge leaves there, again that swag on the hinge leaf, that when the leaves are brought parallel, they're meant to be mortise flush to the edge of the door and frame. It also means that the hinge is standard weight. On a 4.5 by 6, the hinge leaf thickness will be 134 thousandths. It means that it is wide throw. It means that the hinge is wider than it is tall. We'll talk more about that in a moment. It also means that it is 5-knuckle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's pretty self-explanatory. And it means that it's plain bearing. There are no bearing packets that you would see in a BB 5010. It means that it's steel-based. The hinge is made of steel. Okay. Moving on, the next part of the part number is 456. That means this hinge is 4.5 inch tall and 6 inch wide. Okay, sorry. 652 in the part number means two things. It means that it's steel based, and it means that it's satin chrome finish. Available in several different architectural finishes as well. Okay. You can see the screw holes. Let's move on to that. The location of these holes are considered template. It would be standard for a hollow metal frame, a hollow metal door would be considered the same template pattern. If you're replacing something existing, you can view the link below this video to the cut sheet where it shows everything important dimensionally about the hinge. The location specifically of the screw holes, and it gives you the A dimension of the leaf in the chart in the lower right hand corner. Speaking of those screw holes, screws are included. On a hinge like this, you would typically get all metal and half wood screws. This package gives you enough to do 8 of each. Okay. Now, looking at that cut sheet a little bit further, you're going to see lower left-hand corner a column, 3 columns. Steel hinges. Let's look at that first. You see your 5010. The only difference between the 5010 and the 5000 is the fact that the 5010 is wide throw. Below that, you've got an 8000 or an 8010. It's the same hinge except that it's 3-knuckle. And you have your BB version of the 5-knuckle hinge and your LB version of the 8000 hinge. LB is a lube bearing. It's a concealed, maintenance-free sort of bearing construction on that 3-knuckle hinge. The next column over, you can see how the part number changes if you go from steel base to brass or bronze. And what dictates the base metal is the finish. If you were doing satin bronze, it would be a bronze base. If you were doing a polished brass, it would obviously be a brass base material. Next column over is the stainless steel hinges, and you can see how that part number changes. That goes from 0 to 2. You'd be getting polished or satin stainless on those. Wide throw hinges are used specifically, or like a unit like this, is where you have a condition by which the pull side of the opening on the face of the wall, you will have some sort of obstacle that's been installed there. You might have some sort of trim work. You might have shutters that have been attached to the wall, and you simply need the door to get out and around that material. You could also have a hinge like this installed in an application where your door was set in a little bit deeper. This hinge is, when open, it's 1.5 inches wider than a standard hinge. So it's going to give you that additional 3/4 inch offset. So if you had a wall condition that you needed to kick the vertical axis of pivoting out an additional 3/4 inch, if you were starting with a 4.5 by 4.5 inch hinge, this would be the hinge for you. Generally, on a wide throw hinge, if it's exterior, it will be outswinging. In that case, you might want to consider the security pin option, a non-removable pin sort of option, which can be special ordered for these, so that when the pin is set after you've hung the door and tapped down, you can then tighten a set screw in the barrel and make it all but impossible to remove that hinge pin from the exterior. Also, you might want to consider a ball bearing in that case as well. speaking of other potential options, like the security pin, you could do radiused corners, which would be not typical, but we've sold them before. You could do decorative tips, not common on a hinge like this, but you could. This is what's called a button tip. If you use your imagination, you can see how it gets that name. Ball tip is the most common decorative tip. Urn tip, steeple tip, acorn tip, all these are possible. All of the architectural finishes, and even common ones and ones that are custom, are very uncommon. Like a polished bronze is certainly uncommon. And if you're considering a wide throw hinge, you might need to think about an extended lip strike plate as well. Those items kind of go hand in hand. The last thing I'd like to point out to you is the Bommer logo. And right above it, it says Made in USA, a fact that Bommer is quite proud of, as am I, to be a distributor of theirs. Any questions on the Bommer 5010-456-652 wide throw hinge or any other Bommer product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.